With Star Wars Episode 9 serving as the final film of both the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are really preparing for a lot of twists and turns, and that they will be delivering this to the audience. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. And I wanted to focus on one of the set leaks that a lot of people are talking about today, and this all originates from one of the extras that worked for 2 scenes for Episode 9 over at Pinewood. Now, like I always say, when it comes to these plot leaks, take it with a grain of salt, just like the one that we went over back in May of 2018 this year. So it's a very interesting piece that involves, of course, General Hux, Poe, Finn, Naomi Acki's character, and Dominic Monaghan. Like I say, going into this, just be aware, we are going into potential spoilers here involving Star Wars Episode 9. Now, what's really interesting about all of this is that the original poster goes over this. I performed as an extra for 2 scenes at Pinewood Studios that I'm sure you'll love to hear about, so here it goes. We were a guerrilla militia in a secret type of bunker on the planet of Batuu. There is not a lot of tech that you usually see in a Star Wars movie, more hunter and gatherer type of group. Members of this group in the background are all seen with weapons and keeping it busy in other ways. We are trying to keep under the nose of the First Order. The architecture is magnificent and will be a real visual treat for viewers. Goes on to state, now Poe, Finn, and Chewbacca enter with the other members of the Resistance and members of our group. They are greeted by Dominic Monaghan's character, who is wearing a very cool costume. Naomi Ackie here is as Vera Calrissian. There is no mention of a formal leader, but they seem to be more of a leadership in roles. They discuss a recent skirmish that happened while the Resistance arrived on the planet. They seem to be slightly at odds. Poe confronts Dom's character, and Dom laughs. He is a complex character, it would seem. He may have lost a friend or something in this skirmish. Get is livid but excited. Naomi's character says they found something valuable at the cost of losing several soldiers. Enters on an accompanied horse, alright? On an accompanied horse with several children masks on. A body is seated with a bag over his head. He gets dropped down, revealed to be a cowering Donald Gleason, General Hux. He admits surrender and is searched by Dominic Monaghan, who prods him with an instrument and then taunts him. To Naomi's character's displeasure, this is the end of Act 1. It also goes over that Rey does indeed have a lightsaber strapped onto her belt. Now, we're not quite sure if she's actually here with Poe, Finn, Donald Gleason's character, Hux, and of course, Dominic Monaghan's character, and Naomi Acki's character, who is apparently the daughter of Lando Calrissian. Now, just for a recap here, this is apparently the planet of Batuu. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this planet, and when it comes to this planet Batuu, this ties directly into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, as a lot of people have been talking about. Now, there are 2 things that really stand out to me that I kind of disagree with. Now, the first one being is, of course, Vera Calrissian, alright? Veranda Calrissian. Though it does have a nice ring to it. I like the name. And Naomi Ackie, as an actress, I can't quite imagine her being Lando Calrissian's daughter. I don't really see a resemblance too much. So with that being said, moving on to the next part that really does interest me is, of course, alright, having all to do with General Hux being captured by the Resistance. He's actually on one of the horses, apparently, and is actually taken off one of the horses, dropped onto the ground with a bag over his head. They take the bag off, and it's revealed to be General Hux, where Dominic Monaghan's character, who is a part of this clan, is actually taunting him a little bit here and there. So this also falls in line with a lot of the rumors that we have been hearing about through some of the leaks out there these past couple of months, that General Hux is going to be a mole within the First Order. Now, what do I think about this whole entire scene? To me, this sounds like it's going to be a reverse of Return of the Jedi. And what do I mean by this? I'm talking about the sail barge sequence and the rescue sequence, of course, within Jabba's, palace. So if we look at Return of the Jedi, it was all about this mission, saving Han Solo. we had Leia, Luke, Lando, Chewbacca, R2, and C-3PO on this mission to save Han. Now, in this version, in Episode 9, it seems like it could go the way of Kylo and his knights and others, trying to retrieve General Hux. This way he can't give away any information to the Resistance and this clan that, of course, the Resistance needs some of their supplies and some of their resources. Now, the other thing as to why this plot leak lines directly up with some of the other leaks from before in the past is that it mentions horses. I don't know if you guys remember the set leaks, the set photographs of horses over in the Scottish Highlands for Episode 9, but there was a major sequence where it was going to be a more Western vibe between both Finn and Poe, Chewbacca, and Naomi Ackie's character, who, by the way, apparently is the daughter of Lando Calrissian, because this character apparently mentions her father as Commander Calrissian. So, with that being said, alright, how do you guys feel if this actually does end up being true about number 1, alright, Naomi Ackie portraying the character of Vera Calrissian, alright, Veranda Calrissian, or B, how do you guys feel about General Hux being kidnapped by the Resistance on the fly during the very beginning of the first act of the movie? Now, this would certainly make sense in a way. I guess it's something that would truly catch the fans off guard, and given the fact that this movie is going to take place some years after the events of The Last Jedi, a lot of things are going to be happening here in between the events of those two movies. So, with that being said, guys, General Hux, to me, he was like a fool in The Last Jedi. You know, he was kind of too comedic and whatnot, and I felt like the character was just kind of ruined in comparison to how he was in The Force Awakens. With him being kidnapped in Episode 9, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of odd at the same time. I don't know how I feel about that. If he gets retrieved by Kylo and his knights, perhaps, that could be pretty interesting, and maybe he still serves the Resistance, maybe they offer him something in return. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, guys, I would love to hear your opinion about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night